From Yahoo News, jury finds Kyle Rittenhouse not guilty of all charges in high-profile murder trial. I'd be willing to bet that the author of this is probably a lefty, a libtoid, a libtard, a leftoid, so no doubt there's going to be some leftist bias creeping in. So anyhow, before I get into this story, I would like to ask those of you out there that like and appreciate my content to go check out my website, therealistphilosopher.com. That is therealistphilosopher.com. Follow me on all my social media platforms, which you will find in the upper right-hand corner of my website. Also at the bottom of the page, you will find three donation options if you would like to support my continued content creation. So go check that out. Therealistphilosopher.com. That is therealistphilosopher.com. I could really use your support. So back to the story. Kyle Rittenhouse found not guilty because he wasn't. We're living in such a crazy world. He was only walloped in the head with a skateboard. That's not enough reason to shoot somebody. Have you seen a skateboard? The ends of it with the weight of the frame and the wheels. The wheels attached to the metallic frames on either end make the ends of that skateboard very fucking heavy. Not to mention you whack somebody with the sides that are very thin. All of that force compressed into such a small area. You could very easily kill somebody with a whack to the head with a fucking skateboard. It's like a goddamn mace. Oh, but that's no big deal. Whack somebody in the fucking head with a piece of metal. Long piece of metal. Fracture their skull. No big deal. How about Jump Kick Man, who they identified, by the way. It turns out that the prosecutor knew who Jump Kick Man was. You know who Jump Kick Man is, right? That still photo of that black man flying through the air, jump kicking Kyle Rittenhouse to the ground. The guy who made those two deaths, well, that one at least, the skateboard dude, and the Gross Cruise guy losing his bicep made that possible. If he hadn't kicked Kyle, Kyle very well might have been able to get away and not have to kill that second person or take off the bicep of that idiot who pretended to give up only so he could point the gun at Kyle, that Grosskreutz, whatever his fucking name is. Grosskreutz, yeah. Only in America, only in the West, only in Clownland could somebody be stupid enough to go after somebody with a gun, try to take the gun, get shot, and then the person who had to shoot them in self-defense is put on trial for murder. Insanity. So a jury found Kyle Rittenhouse not guilty on Friday on all charges stemming from the 2020 shootings that killed 2 people and severely injured another during chaotic protests against racial injustice in Kenosha. Would you like to add that he was found not guilty because he was not guilty? No. Would you like to add the circumstances of what led to him having to kill those 2 people? No. The jury delivered its verdict Friday afternoon after 3.5 days of deliberation. So let me explain what happened here and why it took so long. This was a clear-cut case of self-defense. But what occurred, what I'm absolutely positively sure occurred, is that you had 1 or 2 libtard, retard, activist, moron, pinheads on that fucking jury who wanted to find him guilty. Either that or they were so terrified of the mob and what the mob might do to them that they held up deliberations for 3.5 fucking days. It's insane to me. There was nothing to deliberate. Jesus Christ. So either you had a couple libtards on the jury, but they didn't have the courage of their convictions, meaning that the other 10, 11 people on the jury said, motherfucker, we're not going to be here. We'll stay here 3 days. We'll stay here 3 months. We'll stay here 3 fucking years. That fucking kid is not going to fucking jail. You libtard, retard, activist motherfucker. You're going to vote to acquit, or we're going to keep you here until the end of fucking time. And the person was just like, okay. My convictions aren't that important to me as a libtard, retard, relativist. Meh. Or you had somebody who was just terrified of the mob and afraid their house would get burned down. Either way, the fact that this took 3.5 days is shocking to me. A deliberation following the high-profile 3-week murder trial. Yeah, the trial with tons of bungles and fuck-ups, some of them purposeful by the prosecution so that they could get a mistrial, another bite at the apple, because they very quickly found out their case wasn't going very well, and they fucked up a lot too. Boy, the DA certainly didn't put his best people on the fucking job, that's for sure. Although, this could have been their best. I don't know. The quality of students these days, the quality of people coming out of our academic system, these two prosecutors, Littlefinger, that might have been the best that they had. That might have been the best that the prosecutor had to throw at this fucking non-case, this clear and obvious case of self-defense. As the verdict was read aloud, Rittenhouse reacted by falling to the ground. Ooh, that faker! Ooh. Did you hear everybody on the left? All the fucking the LeBron James morons and all the fucking actors in the world. Ho, ho, ho! He's not a good actor. Ho, 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 ho! Look at him cry. He, he. I could do better than that. They fell to the ground. All the lip-dard, retard, leftoid actors are like, hey, he's faking it. That little motherfucking evil monster, him. Yeah. Because you have to dehumanize him to want to send a kid to jail who's clearly and obviously not guilty of a crime, right? Yeah, you got to dehumanize him in your own mind. Yeah, by falling to the ground briefly before crying and hugging his defense attorney. I don't know that this defense attorney did such a good job, to be honest. He could have done better. I mean, he did okay. This wasn't a real difficult case to begin with, though. It's pretty hard to fuck up. Especially with all the fuck-ups that the prosecution made. But putting Kyle on the stand, no. You got a lot of people saying after the fact that helped humanize him. You didn't need to. I thought it did more harm than it did good, to be totally fucking honest. A lot of people are like, well, it didn't help, it didn't hurt. I thought it hurt him a little bit. I wouldn't have put him on the fucking stand, and it wasn't required anyway. But anyhow, Rittenhouse is comforted by his lawyer in this picture. He's just a kid. He was crying, you idiots, because you were making him relive the worst fucking moment in his whole entire life. He was 17 at the time. He's 18 years old at the fucking time. He's 18 years old right fucking now. He's going to a fucking therapist because he's suffering from PTSD, yo. He was involved in a war. He had to shoot 2 enemy fucking combatants. He's 17 years fucking old. Give him a fucking break. No, we're not going to give him a break. He's an evil monster. He shot 2 other white people. Black Lives Matter. Hey. Anyway, so Rittenhouse was 17 when he carried an AR-style semi-auto. Oh yeah, you gotta make that a point. Didn't fucking Littlefinger say that like 50 million fucking times? You had an AR-15, correct? Correct. You had an assault-style weapon, correct? You had an AR-15, 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 AR-15. He's just trying to drill it into the fucking minds of the people in the fucking jury, even though last year something like 300 motherfucking people were killed with fucking rifles. While 10,000 were killed with handguns. Oh, but you need to worry about the AR-15. AR-15, AR-15. How many people died last year from AR-15s? 15. The same number as the name of the rifle. Oh, wow, it's a big threat in a country of 330 million fucking people. More than 10,000 died from handguns and 15 died from the AR-15. Ooh, that's a real dangerous weapon. Ooh. Well, the left thinks it's dangerous because it looks scary. It scares me. Ooh. Why? It looks scary. They're all about their fifis, don't you know? Not about objective reality. On the streets of Kenosha during a turbulent protest in the summer of 2020 and opened fire on demonstrators. Lies! Even the media's lying now. He's been found. No, he didn't open fire on demonstrators. Number 1. The pedo, the felon with the gun, the kid with the fucking skateboard, jump kick man, whose name I don't know now, but it turns out he has a criminal background going back decades. He's 40 years old. He's got a fucking criminal record that's 30 years long. Constantly getting fucking probation, parole, when he should be going to jail, committing felony after felony after felony. Jump kick man. But his black privilege kept him out of jail. Meanwhile, they're trying to send Kyle, a white kid, to jail for defending himself. But they can't keep Jump Kick Man in jail for robbing, pillaging, jump kicking somebody in the fucking head. Turns out the Jump Kick Man went to the prosecution before the case and tried to get a deal in exchange for his testimony, but they didn't want him to testify. And then they charged Kyle with assaulting him, but they pretended that they didn't know who he was, but they know who he was the whole time. Yet more prosecutorial misconduct that I have no doubt the prosecution was hoping would get the fucking case tossed out so they could get another bite at the apple. Yeah, he did not shoot at demonstrators. He did not open fire on demonstrators. They were not demonstrators. They were not victims. And that's a factual matter decided by the court, not demonstrators. They were felons. They were attempted murderers. Grosskreutz, by the way, who had an illegal firearm. His concealed weapon permit had expired. And he was a felon, so he wasn't allowed to have that gun in the first place. But did he get prosecuted? No. Will he be prosecuted? No. But they'll prosecute Kyle for defending himself against this armed felon thug. Interesting. Killing Joseph Rosenbaum. Wasn't that the pedo who wanted to die, it seems? He wanted to have suicide by Kyle. Instead of suicide by cop, he went for suicide by Kyle. And Anthony Huber, skateboard boy, and seriously wounded Gage Grosskreutz. He was charged with 5 felony counts stemming from the shootings, including first-degree intentional homicide. It's not homicide. Self-defense is not homicide. Idiots. Which carries a mandatory sentence of life in prison. He was also charged with 1 misdemeanor count of possession of a dangerous weapon by a person under 18, which was tossed out. Notice they're not mentioning that. They did the measurement of the gun. It was long enough and qualified for him to legally carry, even at the age of 17. But Kenosha County Circuit Court Judge Bruce Schroeder agreed to drop the weapons charge. He agreed to drop it because they looked at the law and they found that the weapon was legal. They fucking measured it in the courtroom. It was like an inch or 2 longer than what Kyle was legally allowed to carry at his age. He's allowed to carry a long rifle, non-concealed, at the age of 17. Yeah. Dropped the weapons charge when defense attorneys argued that the teenager could be cleared under a hunting exemption to Wisconsin law. Oh, they're trying to make it sound like the fucking defense attorney just found some kind of loophole or something, which does not permit the sale of a firearm to anyone under the age of 18. Well, it's a good thing you didn't buy it. They're not quoting the part of the law that allowed him to carry the fucking gun, which was loaned to him, by the way, if I recall, from a friend. And no, he did not cross state lines with it. And even if he had, that's not illegal. He lived like 17 miles away from fucking Kenosha or something like that. His father lived in Kenosha. His father lived in Kenosha. His friends lived in Kenosha. He worked in Kenosha. It was his fucking community. Not that it would matter if it wasn't his community. I thought this was fucking America. You got all these goddamn motherfucking non-protesters, non-demonstrators walking around, running around with big fucking 5-gallon jugs of gasoline, lighting entire car lots on fucking fire, trying to kill people, burning down fucking buildings. They're not from Kenosha. They're getting paid an hourly fucking wage to be there via George Soros and one of his NG fucking O's. Pallets of bricks are showing up everywhere. But Kyle's the bad guy. Yeah, by their own logic. All these people showing up from other places to cause chaos and mayhem should be going to jail. They're not from Kenosha. They don't have anybody that's a friend or a relative living in fucking Kenosha in most cases. Oh, but that's okay because they're protesting for a cause that we on the left like. Meanwhile, Kyle Rittenhouse, he's opposing us. Kill him. That's okay. Apparently, it's okay with them. Among the witnesses called by prosecutors was Rittenhouse's friend, Dominic Black, who said he purchased the gun used in the shooting. Yeah, Dominic purchased the gun and then, I guess, loaned it to Rittenhouse. Rittenhouse, now 18, pleaded not guilty to all the charges. Notice they said wasn't found not guilty. Yeah, they don't want to say that. They don't want to say anything about that. Arguing that he acted in self-defense. He wasn't found not guilty because he defended himself. He argued that it was self-defense by opening fire on demonstrators who he claimed were trying to attack him. Whoa. He's been found not guilty. It's not a claim. It's now a fact. Hard copy, bitch. Totally factual, but notice they're trying to create some kind of reasonable doubt about his not guilty verdict. We're not going to make any declarative statements about his innocence, but we're going to imply that he was still guilty, even though he was found not guilty by a jury of his fucking peers. You get these idiots on talk shows. There were 11 white jurors. In Kenosha, like 85% white? Yeah. Of course there were a lot of white people. Yeah. I didn't do anything wrong. I defended myself, he said, during his own lengthy and at times emotional testimony. Lengthy. Emotional. Yeah, it was lengthy because little finger there kept him on the stand for over 3 hours. That's why. Yeah, you try being on the fucking stand for 3 hours, getting grilled, and your life is on the line. See if you're fucking emotional or not. You're going to be real emotional. In addition to witness testimony, attorneys for both sides relied on a variety of videos taken at the scene before, during, and immediately after the shootings. Yeah. One of those videos being a grainy, shitty, 1/3 quality video that was sent to the fucking defense by the prosecution on a cell phone. And it was found that they purposely degraded the quality so that it was near useless, because in its original high definition form, it made Kyle look innocent. Can't have that! Oh, defense attorneys presented Rittenhouse as a good Samaritan. Yeah, which he was. Which he was. Who voluntarily cleaned graffiti off a school just hours before traveling to Kenosha to provide first aid and armed security to a local business during a third night of volatile protest that erupted in the city following the shooting of Jacob Blake, a black man, by a white police officer in 2020. Is this the idiot? Is Jacob Blake the idiot that was holding the fucking knife and went for the knife and tried to get into a fucking SUV and drive away with somebody else's kids? And kidnap some kids? And that's why he got shot in the back? Yeah, that's Jacob Blake. Now, we know how much the left loves and cares about children's. They argued that Rittenhouse was justified in firing his weapon. It demonstrated. They weren't demonstrators. Stop. So the language here is clearly against Kyle. They weren't demonstrators. When you light shit on fire and burn somebody's car lot down to the ground and destroy millions of dollars of property, guess what you're not? A demonstrator. Peaceful or otherwise, you're a rioter. You need to change that to rioter, which it would be if Kyle had been black. Firing his weapon at rioters who, they said, threatened, chased, and hit him. No, this is just a matter of fact. You can't say that he claimed it. It's been found to be a matter of fact. So he was chased and hit, and they tried to grab his gun. Whoa. This is so interesting to me. The evidence has been presented. We've seen it. The pedo dude, Rosenbaum, went for his gun. Well, why does somebody try to take my gun away from me? Because they want to use it on me. There's no other reason. Especially if I'm running away. They can't claim that they're trying to get my gun because they're afraid I'll use it against me if I'm running away from them. So if somebody's chasing me down and then tries to take my gun, it's because they're going to use it to kill me. So I have the right to kill them. We saw that on video. We saw a skateboard dude try to take his gun too. And by the way, skateboard dude did not only try to take his gun, idiot grabbed the end of the fucking barrel and it pointed at his chest, but he also whacked fucking Kyle over the head. Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant with a fucking skateboard. Yeah. Oh, but that's not self-defense. Oh, they're demonstrators. Oh, yeah. That's not trying to. They're using this vague, ambiguous language. He claimed that people tried to grab his gun. It's been proven. 100% fact. You people continue to use this loose, inaccurate language. Prosecutors, on the other hand, portrayed Rittenhouse, who lived with his mother about 20 miles from Kenosha, 17, in Antioch, as a dishonest chaos tourist. Wouldn't matter. What is this, victim blaming now? Wait. I'm confused here. I'm confused. He's the victim. This is like saying that a woman is responsible for her rape because she should have known better than to go to a city with some of the highest crime in the country and walk down an alley. Well, she was asking for it. Dark, dank alley. This city has the highest crime rate in America. She should have known better. She was just asking for trouble. And then she shot the would-be attempted rapist in the balls. And he bled out and died. Charge her with a crime. Well, of course, that wouldn't happen because, we know how women get a slap on the fucking wrist for almost anything they do. Meanwhile, a guy did the same thing. He would go to jail forever. So we have perfect evidence of that. This is just victim shaming. Oh, he should have been there. Oh, there were riots going on. I thought they were demonstrators. Now they're rioters? Oh, it's a chaotic situation. I thought they were demonstrators. Mostly peaceful protesters. They were just demonstrating. There was no danger. Well, if there was no danger, then how was he a fucking chaos tourist? Fucking little fingers, retarded arguments. Oh, he's a chaos tourist who recklessly inserted himself into a volatile situation. But Yahoo, you just said they were all demonstrators. There was nothing volatile, right? And made it even more dangerous, exhibiting a disregard for human life. wasn't the only disregard for human life on behalf of the people who were running around indiscriminately lighting car lots on fire? Taking pot shots at people who are trying to put those fires out, trying to take their guns away, trying to kill them. You're going to tell me they didn't try to kill Kyle? Oh, but Kyle, who defended himself, he had a disregard for human life because he had a weapon. What? Yeah, it's a prophylactic measure, yo. It's preventive maintenance. It's to deter criminals. Anybody who's stupid enough. How fucking dumb are you? He's got a fucking AR-15, yo, with a 20-30 round fucking clip. Maybe got armor-piercing bullets in there. Not that he fucking needs them. Although I wouldn't be surprised if some of these demonstrators were wearing body armor. A lot of them had guns that they weren't supposed to have. It seems like all of them were criminals, had long criminal histories. Fucking clip, big fucking gun. Who is stupid enough to attack somebody like that? And they got no gun. I'll go skateboard. Rosenbaum, little 5'2" motherfucker suffering from a Napoleon complex who likes to fuck little boys in the ass. I got no gun, but I got a death wish. But Kyle is the one who has disregard for human life. Kyle, who has no responsibility to flee under Wisconsin law, but he's trying to flee. They chased him down like the dog they clearly thought he was, inserted themselves into a dangerous situation, tried to kill him, not seeming to understand that a guy with a big fucking gun can blow your fucking head off real easy if you're stupid enough to attack him in a melee situation, you idiots. And they got killed. And he's got no regard for human life? Oh, really? I think the idiots that attacked him had no regard for their own lives. The defendant was a fraud, Kenosha County Assistant District Attorney Thomas Binger declared. In his closing argument on Monday, pointing to testimony given in court by the owners of a local car business, who denied asking Rittenhouse or anybody else to guard their property on the night of the shooting. Well, of course they're going to say that, because they're fearful that whatever the outcome, there's going to be more fucking riots, and they don't want to make themselves a fucking target again. They don't want to make themselves a target at all. Of course they're going to say that. But what would it matter? What would it matter? Whether or not he was asked to guard it. He was guarding it. That's not illegal. Nor is crossing state lines to see your daddy and go to work. We're borrowing a gun from a friend because he didn't cross any state lines with a gun, and it wouldn't be fucking illegal if he had. Binger also emphasized that, contrary to statements made by Rittenhouse that night, he was not a trained EMT. What does it matter? He has EMT training. I don't think that Kyle Rittenhouse ever claimed to be an EMT. He had emergency medical training. This is just a straw man to try and make Kyle look somehow dishonest. Yeah. Despite his claim to be a medic, he'd run away from the people he shot instead of attempting to provide them first aid. That's not true. I'm going to stick around so I can be killed by the 100 other peaceful protesters. One of which just tried to kill me. Yeah, okay. Even on the witness stand, he broke down crying about himself. Now, he broke down crying because you made him relive the events that he's been trying to forget and get over in his therapy. And he was 17 years old at the time. He was on the stand for 3 fucking hours, and he's just 17. Kid doesn't have a lot of mental wherewithal, stamina. He's a little kid. His coping skills are not quite up to par yet. He's not fully cooked yet, okay? Oh, but you're not going to give him a break, are you? Oh, no. If it's black, you would, though. Not anyone he hurt that night. Let me explain something to you. He shouldn't feel bad. If some motherfucker tries to kill me, I'm going to pop him in the fucking head if I can, and I'm going to go home and eat a steak dinner, okay? You know how much remorse I'm going to feel about some motherfucker trying to kill me, and in the process, I'm able to kill them in self-defense? A big fat whopping 0. Now, I'm fully cooked. I'm old, okay? I have full control of my emotions, my mental faculties. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to feel any remorse. Oh, he's supposed to feel remorse. This guy tried to kill me. I had to kill him instead. Kyle, he didn't feel remorse. He didn't show remorse. He didn't show the kind of remorse I feel he should for having to defend himself. By the way, how do you know why he was crying? You don't know why he was crying? What are you, a mind reader? I love it how these fucking non-reporters, non-journalists, these activists are now mind readers. You don't know why he was crying. Fuck you. No remorse, no concern for anybody else, Binger said. What is this? What is this? The prosecutor's now a mind reader? Binger the Great? Gonna put a fucking turban on your head? Charge money for fucking tarot card readings? Get the fuck out of here. The police shooting of Blake and the unrest that followed took place at the tail end of a tumultuous summer, which was largely fueled by the same media that is now trying to inaccurately and dishonestly paint Kyle in a negative light. I hope he sues Yahoo, too. Filled with nationwide protests against racial injustice. Yeah, by the way, what does this have to do with race? The people that he shot all white? You leftists should be happy. But we gotta make it about black people. Everything's about black people. It's all about race. This case is too big not to make it about race. Yeah. In particular, police killings of unarmed black people. 9 last year? Meanwhile, it was like 17, 18 white people. I mean, what the fuck? More whiteys getting killed than blackies out there, even though blackies committing more crimes than whitey, even though whitey is like 5, 6 times more the population. So interesting to me. Blacks are way, way overrepresented, criminally speaking, and yet more white people are getting shot. But somehow there's a bias against black people. Really? Seems like there's more of a bias against whitey. But anyway, in particular, police killings of unarmed black people, which had been sparked by the murder of George Floyd. He was not murdered, okay? He was not murdered. And I wouldn't be surprised that Derek Chauvin, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets off on appeal. There's certainly going to be an appeal. And if he doesn't get off on appeal, he should. He did his job. And the move that he performed on George Floyd, it was a legal move. He had been taught to do that neck kneel thing, and by the way, I've seen videos online where people demonstrated that neck move where he leaned on the, it looked like it was leaning on the neck. It was actually more on the shoulder, and it didn't in any way, shape, or form obstruct breathing. And by the way, the fentanyl that he took, which was more than 4 times the amount needed to kill a normal adult of his size, causes the exact same symptoms and cause of death as asphyxiation. So there were no bruises found that would point to him being asphyxiated by a knee on his neck. But we don't want our houses burned down. And a bunch of activists got on that jury. The first 2 nights of protest in Kenosha had developed into looting and property damage. Didn't you just say it was demonstrators that he was shooting at? Now they're looters? You gotta make up your mind, Yahoo! You can't have it both ways. Drawing national media attention to the small Wisconsin city on Lake Michigan well before Rittenhouse showed up with the AR-15. Oh, so he should have known not to go there. Just like that woman should have known better not to walk down that alley. Women had been raped in this alley many times before. She knew it. She should have known better. She shouldn't have went down that alley. You're victim shaming. That's all they're doing. I love it. I love the fucking left. They're always talking about you can't victim shame. Meanwhile, what are they doing? They're victim shaming. That's his fault because he went there. He should have known it was a dangerous situation. He shouldn't have been there in the first place. Because, America's not a free fucking place where you're allowed to go wherever the fuck you want. Oh, no. After the shootings, he became an instant political lightning rod. We have figures on both the right and the left rushing to hold up the teenager as a symbol of their divergent worldviews. And I think we know what side you're on, Yahoo. On Twitter, the day after the shootings, Democratic Representative Ayanna Pressley, because the right aren't allowed to post anything supporting Kyle, called Rittenhouse a white supremacist domestic terrorist, as did Sleepy Joe Potato Man. I hope he gets sued. Has to give Kyle all that money he made from China. And criticized news outlets for not describing him as such. Even though all 3 of the men shot by Rittenhouse were white, his actions, including his presence at the protest alongside other armed vigilantes. I hope he sues you, Yahoo! It's been proven he wasn't an armed vigilante. You want to know who the armed vigilantes were? The mostly peaceful demonstrators, looters. Oh, wait, one contradicts the other. Okay, they weren't looters, they were demonstrators. Even though I just called them looters. They were the vigilantes. By the way, the people that he shot the fucking skateboard dude and Grosskreutz. They had no reason to go after him. All they had was some idiots behind Kyle yelling, he shot somebody, get him, and they got him. You can't do that. Wait, we're making a citizen's arrest. You can't do that. You can't do that. Even with a felony, you have to have seen it. You can't rely on somebody's word to go make a citizen's arrest. Oh, hey, look, this guy that's running away, he just did some bad shit. The fuck, you have to actually witness it. You can't just go chasing people down. and tackling them and jump kicking them and whacking them on the head with a skateboard and trying to take their fucking AR-15? The fuck you doing? And even if you do have some kind of reasonable cause to believe that he committed a felony, which, by the way, get him, I mean, he's running away. He's not a threat. There's no reasonable legal basis. You're a vigilante now. You tried to kill the kid. Don't tell me he's trying to take his fucking gun, and you're pulling your gun, and you're trying to shoot him in the fucking head, even though he's trying to run away, and he's running toward cops, by the way. You have no reasonable foundation for claiming some kind of fucking citizen's arrest when he's running towards cops and he's running away from you. He's no longer a threat. You can't claim that you were trying to make a citizen's arrest, especially not when you tried to kill the kid. He's no threat to you. They were the vigilantes. Wow, this is great. This is the typical of the left. They always flip everything in the fucking round, right? What they're guilty of, you're actually guilty of. Yeah, wonderful diversionary tactic, Yahoo. On the right, Rittenhouse was immediately hailed as a hero. Oh yeah, because everything's about left and right. Right. Yeah, there's no logic, there's no reason. It's all ideology, the left or the right. There's no critical thinking going on here. Hailed as a hero who simply exercised his Second Amendment right to protect himself. Well, he exercised his right to self-defense. The Second Amendment is just about the right to carry a firearm. Against violent rioters. Well, you said they were demonstrators, right? The teenager's social media presence revealed him to be an aspiring police officer. Oh, yeah, and that's bad. Months before taking up arms at the protest in Kenosha. Oh, he took up arms. He's a militiaman. Yeah, except he wasn't. That was a false narrative. Had been spotted in the front row of the Donald Trump rally. Oh, well, that means he must be a killer. Yeah. The incident seemed to validate the popular right-wing narrative promoted by Trump that state and local Democratic officials around the country were allowing leftist rioters and looters to destroy their cities. Well, weren't they? Lest we forget the Chaz Chop. Yeah, people forget that. Yeah. Kenosha has developed into anarchy because the authorities in charge of this city abandoned it. People charged from the governor of Wisconsin on down refused to enforce the law. Well, that's true. We've seen the video. They stood back and they watched Kenosha burn. Yeah, by the way, that guy who said that he never asked Kyle or anybody else to protect his property, his entire car lot was burnt to a cinder. Fox News host Tucker Carlson said on his primetime show 2 days after the shooting, so are we really surprised that looting and arson accelerated to murder? No. How shocked are we that 17-year-olds with rifles decided they had to maintain order when no one else would? Well, if no one else is going to, somebody's got to do it. Reactions to the trial were just politicized, and earlier this week, Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers authorized the deployment of 500 National Guard troops to Kenosha to be on standby ahead of the verdict. But they're not in Kenosha. They're like an hour outside the city. I mean, by the time they respond, half the city will be burned down. Which is what they want. I urge folks who are otherwise not from the area to please respect the community. Lefties respect anything? Come on. They don't believe in objective reality. So how can they respect something they don't believe exists? But you got to respect their beliefs. Who are otherwise not from the area, please respect the community by considering any plans to travel there. Oh, yeah, because that would be evil, right? Yeah. To travel somewhere in your own country. And encourage those who might choose to assemble and exercise their First Amendment rights to do so safely and peacefully. Ever said in a statement. Yeah. Implying somehow that Kyle didn't do that. On more than one occasion, Judge Schroeder acknowledged the intense public scrutiny his courtroom was under and even complained openly about media coverage of the trial. Notice you don't mention about how an MSNBC employee, somebody who was a subcontractor who had been paid, hired by MSNBC to try and dox the jury. Notice they don't mention that. Or any of the prosecutorial misconduct that occurred. No. We don't mention any of that, but we'll mention any and everything we can mention to try and make Kyle look bad, including things that have been proven to be non-facts. We're just going to continue to lie and gaslight people. Schroeder, who is the longest-serving circuit court judge in Wisconsin, emerged as a polarizing figure during the trial, and of course they reported on his ringtone as well. which was something, a song about loving America. Yeah, oh, that's evil. Oh, he's got to be a right winger. Listen to that ringtone. He should be removed from the case. Prompting accusations of bias from some for both his formal rulings and his offhanded remarks. I watched his rulings. They seem fair and in line with the law. He was unbiased, which the left doesn't like. He should absolutely positively be biased in our favor, says the left. And if he's not, he's evil. So there you go. There you go. The left is butthurt that our friend Kyle here didn't get sent to jail forever for defending himself, because they don't want you to be able to defend yourself. If you're not on their side, if you're not in agreement with them, they want you to be cowed into submission. They don't want you to exercise your Second Amendment right. I don't think that the prosecution expected to win this case. The prosecution probably knew they were going to lose. It wasn't about winning. It was about deterrence. Deterring you law-abiding, American-loving citizens, from exercising your Second Amendment rights. Because even though defending yourself isn't a crime, they're telling you, doesn't matter. We're going to arrest you anyway. We're going to put you on trial. We're going to bankrupt you. We're going to make you mortgage your house. We're going to make you have to liquidate your children's college fund. We're going to fucking turn you into paupers. Even if you do win, we're going to impoverish you so much that your kids can't go to college, and you're going to be eating Vegemite for the rest of your fucking life. Canned tuna and shit. So there you go. There you go. Kyle found not guilty. So let me know what you think. Was that the right outcome? Kyle Rittenhouse being found not guilty. Did he indeed defend himself? Yes. Was he guilty of a crime? No. Or was he guilty of a crime? No. Let me know what you think of the outcome of this case in the comments section. And please like and subscribe to my BitChute channel if you have not already. bitchute.com/The Realist Philosopher. That's bitchute.com/The Realist Philosopher. And don't forget to check out my website, therealistphilosopher.com. And consider making a donation. I could really use your support.